The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Oh god. Oh god. We got separated from our audio equipment. We had to run all the way back. Sorry it's been so long, guys.
Wait, you guys ran? I took the bus.
Shit. I tunneled here. Hey guys, this is the Treading the Path of the Heaven podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Kinney, joined with my fellow co-hosts.
I'm Richard.
I'm Bill.
I'm Seth.
Wait.
My voice hasn't always sounded like this. I'm just sick. Sorry.
And we are once again happy to be back with you again this week. We have taken an unfortunate hiatus due to just a bunch of work problems and schedules not meshing up in a correct way. But as always, we're going to try and put out more content when we can.
It's different. We're in a new city, and like the vibe's different. We all used to be home at the same time every day, every day, and it was really easy to do podcasts. And now we're just not. It's difficult.
But podcast life.
Yeah.
This week we are going to be talking about a Japanese novel that Richard is uncharacteristically happy about.
Oh my God. Am I? To put this into perspective, okay? I normally really freaking hate the Japanese novels I read. Like I like Japanese culture. I like their shows. I like anime. I like manga. I really do. But for some reason, when I sit down with a light novel or a Japanese web novel, it's usually pretty awful.
He still reads them, mind you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I feel like part of that it comes from the Japanese language. Like Japanese is very contextual. It very much has to do with the situation that something's in. So I think that comes through a lot more when there's a visual representation, at least for people like that don't naturally speak the language. So I think translating Japanese to English a lot it's very easy for that sort of nuance and the stuff that makes novels, emotions, and that kind of stuff to be. I think that gets lost a lot of times. That being said, I've also read a lot of just very mediocre, Japanese books.
Okay, to put this into perspective, I'm just gonna throw out Japanese web novels I've read that were just awful. Just the conceit is bad.
Oh no, it's Quickfire Hell.
Quickfire Hell, Lollibaba.
That's got a ridiculous name in and of
Sounds
itself.
That's a book you can't judge by its cover.
That
Bill,
the amount of effort they put into that name.
Go on.
Is that the alternate title for Magi? I guess that would be Shotobaba, but
Oh my God. I'm gonna be real. This is gonna be a super hot take for the guys who like light novels. I really don't like. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon?
Yes.
my answer to
Yes,
that
it is
question has
wrong.
always been yes. Whenever I look at the episode, the side that I know nothing about that series, so I am purely speaking out of my ass here. But every time I see the title of that, I'm like, yes, it's wrong to try and pick up girls inside the dungeon. I don't know what the context is.
They're
but
also
yes, it's
trying
wrong.
to work. It's like trying to pick up a waitress. They're also at work in the
This
dungeon.
isn't a girl delivery service.
I mean,
It brings you pizza.
to give it its fair stuff. Parts of it's really good. Parts of it's good. Some parts aren't. But that's another thing about Japanese novels I've noticed. If it has a good conceit, it fails in execution. If it has a weak conceit, for some reason it executes on spades.
Ooh, give us one more example.
Of weird really whack conceits that proceed and execute correctly.
I'm very interested in hearing a fucking bad conceit that actually works out. Give me one.
Okay, I'll just say we've covered it here. Shield Hero. Shield Hero actually is a whack conceit, but it executes well.
It's a fantastic story, but it doesn't make much sense at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You're like, man, why would any of this happen? But then you're like, but this is fun.
But then it delivers later because it plays games with the entire in another world isekai genre. It's the same with Kumo Dezuga, which we covered here.
Mhm.
The conceit is very dry, very vanilla, but it executes on the background, the world building, and the characters. And it's from a viewpoint you also rarely get to see either.
Have we actually said what the book is?
Oh no.
No, that's where I'm covering now. The book we're talking today is The Death Mage Who Doesn't Want a Fourth Time. It was a viewer recommendation that I sat down. I'm like, I'm going to read it. And I was blown away.
You guys, he was so excited when he was talking about this book.
Yeah, no, for real. I like it had been a while. We had kind of been on hiatus with reading, just letting things build up a little bit of supply, and with again our new job schedule and everything. And so it had been a while since we had that F5 passion. But I remember coming home one day and just Richard was like, "Man, you got to read Death Mage Who Doesn't Want a Fourth Time." I started it yesterday and I just read until like 5 a.m. It's like, oh, maybe I should pick this up.
Man, that sounds like the days.
Okay, so first things first, to give context to why I like Death Mage Who Doesn't Want a Fourth Time. One, the title is classic. This is way too many words.
Oh yeah, a
That's-
Japanese
And
run
the
on
title.
sentence.
Oh, yeah.
It's too much. But the title makes perfect sense if you read it. It is exactly what it's talking about. Fourth time being, it's a death mage who does not want a fourth life. Because this is a world where there is such a thing as samsara cycle. Reincarnation is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ruled by a guy who's a piece of shit. His name is Rodcourt. And fuck him. That's all you need to
Rodcourt?
know. Rodcourt is a guy that gods don't even like. He only rules over the domain of reincarnation, and it is his system. When he fucks up his system, which he is ought to do, you end up in situations where life is born and created, but no soul can fulfill that void. So they're born without the ability to feed or take care of themselves.
Oh no.
When he fucks up.
Well, he
Rodcourt
put
is
too many
awful.
stats into like physical attributes and didn't leave enough, space. It's like when you lose too much of that one stat in Shadowrun.
Oh my god, yeah. 100% that, because this is a situation where this is a story where it's not just like Korean where there's a system. Because systems do kind of exist, but it's like each world has a different system or has no system at all. Let's see here. Can I get the novel translations summary of this story, Billiam?
You sure can.
Billingham.
Amamiro Amamiya Hiroto is unlucky. His life consisted of misfortune after misfortune, culminating in an unlucky death during an incident on a school boat trip, trying to save a girl he barely knew.
And you can never try and save girls you barely know,
Especially on boat trips. What are you trying?
especially in school. Sorry.
After death, he met a god of reincarnation who requested that the 100 or so dead passengers, one of them being the girl he tried in vain to save, be reincarnated into another world. Yet, a series of unfortunate events forced Hiroto to reincarnate with even less luck than before, starting with nothing but a tremendous amount of mana. His second life, far worse than his first, came to a cruel end. However, upon meeting the god a second time, he was informed that there would be yet another reincarnation, one that had already been set in motion and could not be stopped. Not wanting Hiroto to live long, the god cursed him before he was reborn in hopes that he would either die quickly or commit suicide. Hiroto was reborn once more as half vampire, half dark elf, a Dhampir. Not wanting to a fourth life, he is determined to live his third life with the only things remaining from his previous lives: death attribute magic and his enormous mana pool.
I have nothing against Dampiers as like a literary device thing, whatever you want to call it. But I do have a friend that's really into them, and so they make me chuckle every time they're brought up anywhere.
They're his favorite variation of like any supernatural creature. Like,
What?
let's not worry about it.
I kind of want context for this, but it's fine. It's I'll let it rock.
He's just the guy who will play a vampire in anything it's allowed in.
It's true.
Okay.
And especially things where it's not allowed.
Well, he's the kind of guy who makes the same character in every game, and they're always a Dhampir if possible. Like it's to that level.
That's a lot.
Well, you like a thing, I guess.
Yeah, man, he just wants to play the Spanish Inquisition with with weapons that kill monsters.
Yep.
So,
I mean, that's actually one of the longer descriptions.
Yeah,
of the
that one went on a while. I was surprised.
yeah, it's great. It's great because this does kind of set up a glance over of the introduction conceit, except it's a little bit more than that. So our main character, I'm not going to use his name. I'm going to call him his actual name. He's Vandaloo. His name is Vandaloo.
All right.
He is born into the world. His mother's Darcia. He's Vandaloo. He's born into this world as a dark elf Dhampir mix, cursed with 3 curses from young Rodcourt. Rodcourt's an asshole, mind you. But let's go through the setup, okay? Let's go through the setup.
Yeah.
They're on Earth. This is our Earth. There's 2 Earths, mind you.
Of course.
Cool.
There's 2 Earths. Let's not
there's-
talk about a secondary Earth. That's important later. Just like spoiler terms. There's 2 Earths. This is Earth, much like ours.
Earth Prime.
Is
I
it like
Earth Prime.
an accepted thing? People know about the other Earth, or is it just
No, I mean, like the people, the reincarnators know about the other Earth now.
all right?
Because later they get some shit. Because Rodcourt, again, is awful.
So it's like a training Earth and a real Earth.
No, not a training Earth, not a real Earth. These are just 2 separate worlds, 2 separate systems, 2 separate, like Earth legit has a god, but the god, just to throw it, the god of our Earth
Yeah.
exists,
Yeah.
but cannot manifest energy on it because it is itself in conflict with itself. It's fantastic. Every single one of our beliefs, all of the religions, all of it, because we can't be on the same accord, have created this amalgamation of like horror, terror, Lovecraftian horror, multiple body parts and things, massive flesh.
So this is like some Lovecraft / Gaiman.
yeah.
So wait.
That is the god of our actual Earth, by the way.
So we created it with all of our beliefs.
All of our beliefs, all of our trust, all the things we put faith in, has created energies, and via our souls dying and going into the path of reincarnation, has created a god. This is an aside, because it's not important to the story until later. Much, much later. But gods exist in each world. Each world has a cycle of reincarnation which is controlled by one being by the name of Rodcourt. Now, other gods, or natural gods of different worlds, can create their own reincarnation system. But they all just don't because they don't realize they can, if that makes any sense. Like it's one of those, I control the thing I'm good at.
Okay.
If I'm the goddess of life,
you got it.
I make life. This is what I do.
The
So it's kind of
Greco-Roman
like
set.
the affinity for certain DAOs you'd find in Chinese weapons.
Pretty much. And gods can take on other stuff, but usually you need a pantheon of gods to control things, or the world doesn't function the way it should.
So say you find the god of the oceans, and he's just like, you know what? I like oceans and all, but what if I made a reincarnation system? Would Radicourt, like, flying crane kick him or something? Or...
Rodcourt would want to, but Rodcourt wouldn't step down. What he would do is he'd be like, this is bullshit, and cut your world out of that, his reincarnation system. So his other worlds, his thousands and thousands and thousands of worlds would take a hit. Like 1 in 10 people would just be born without a soul. It'd be okay if it's like grass or trees. Trees without souls still function. So planets that have been cut off have no life, intelligent life. They just got trees and plants. That's it. That's all it has, because there's no souls to fulfill these positions.
So nothing can be
Man,
born.
fuck you, Radcourt.
Radcourt is awful. His system is shitty, has bugs, and he tries to actively fix it.
Radcourt
But
ruined
whatever.
everything.
When you talk about all these different planets having having a bunch of different gods, are we talking like Greco-Roman pantheon, or are we
Some of
talking
them-
like Shintoism
some of them-
in amount? No, I'm saying like in amount of gods. Is there like
There's
a god in everything,
minor
or
gods.
is there?
Minor gods exist, but there's major gods and minor gods, and the minor gods are considered like assistant gods to help you control your affinity, your domain.
Got it.
It feels more
If
like
you're
an
a heroic-
Olympian number of gods.
If
Yeah,
you're
okay.
a heroic spirit, you can maybe like your god can choose to turn you into a lesser like assistant god. And if that god dies, you can try to fulfill the position he served.
So you can
but
become
it's so much harder on you, and it's
So
more,
you're
less
the god's
efficient.
apprentice?
Kinda.
So God Prentice, the
Heir
God
apparent.
Prentice.
Yeah, this is just like a system thing because this is not even a really. It is kind
I mean,
of
gods don't die that often anyway, right? right, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip ahead because again, I don't want to spoil this for you because I want you, viewer, to read this novel.
Listener.
There should be a certain point in this episode where we're just like, all right, now if you haven't read it, just stop.
The thing is, like, I'm
No,
trying
man,
to
that's what the nights are for.
dance around this because I also want you guys to read it, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Mhm.
But okay, the way this starts, the book starts. All right. Hiroto Amamiya, aka Vandaloo, aka the Undead.
The Undead.
Oh yeah, the Undead. That was his name on Origin, the world he goes to after dying on Earth.
Okay.
So on Earth like we know it, he just graduated high school. He has been living in squalor his entire life. No one has ever loved him. It is hilarious. This isn't like no
doesn't
one
sound
cared about
hilarious.
me. I'm a virgin cuck like normal Japanese. No one has loved him. He's been beaten
I'm sorry,
by
did
his step family.
you just say the normal state of a Japanese man is a virgin cuck?
No.
Yeah, no, he's saying that it's not the typical Japanese main character
I see.
that's like, oh man, the number of years of my age is the same as the number of years I haven't had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
When my life sucks. No, this is a kid who's been beaten his entire life. When we say love, we mean he has not experienced familial love in
No
any
one.
of our
Got it.
meanings.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
he doesn't have a girlfriend.
So his parents die on like a plane crash or some shit, leaving him as a child to be taken care of by his aunt and and his uncle, her husband, and their shitty kid. And he was left insurance money to take care of him, which they don't let him use.
Of course not.
They use none of the money on him. They just use it on themselves. It very much reminds me of, remember in Harry Potter how the Dudleys treated him?
Dursleys.
The Dursleys?
Dudley
Yeah.
was the.
They
the
don't
kid.
deserve
Dudley
to have
Dursley.
their name remembered correctly.
No,
Yeah.
Dudley Dursley is such a stupid fucking
It
name.
is
You got to remember it
It's
perfectly.
way worse than the Dursleys because they actively beat him.
Yeah.
Well,
Like if he went somewhere and someone gave him a Coke and he drank it, and the stepfather, or the uncle found out, he's like, that is too much leisure. That's too much fun. You can't have that, and beat the shit out of him.
I kind of always imagined that the Dursleys beat the shit out of Harry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. That's
she just
alluded
didn't
to.
talk about it.
Did that catch you having fun?
At the very least, Dudley beat the shit out of him and they did nothing about it.
He
Yeah.
couldn't even watch like his cousin play video games and shit because it's like, you're having too much fun. You need to be in there studying. We're wasting all this money taking care of you.
Oh, man.
And they're blowing his trust fund insurance money. They're blowing that shit
On
and
the
he's-
ponies, might as well be.
Basically, it's bad, dude. And like, he goes to school, and because he has really shitty clothes, because they don't buy him any clothes, he learned to sew and learned to cook. He learned to do all these things because he couldn't have it. He never tasted miso as a Japanese man because they said that was a
luxury.
joy, a luxury.
Miso is
He
delicious.
couldn't have a luxury.
Ugh.
So he graduated high school. He's like, yeah, I did well. I'm going to college. I'm going to finally do something for me. I'm going on a school trip, and I'm going to hang out on a school trip and have a good time. So he's sitting in his shitty clothes, enjoying freedom, the breath of fresh air. I'm going to have a good life this time, guys. It's going to be great. I am going to find family, friends. It's going to be great. New horizons. I ain't going to be in that house. Fantastic.
Oh, man.
There's a terrorist attack.
Yeah,
Womp.
that makes
They
sense.
blow up this boat.
Womp,
It's
womp.
bad. It's sinking.
Womp,
Not
womp.
like this. I'm unwilling.
Womp, womp.
A girl he notices that it's also on our graduation trip. Also, there's other schools here too, by the way. Because it's just like, you graduated high school, you're going on a trip. They're on a boat going somewhere. He throws his body and flings the girl up to stop her from sinking and drowning. And then he drowns to death.
All
Because
right.
he falls in the water, can't... Both
He's a
sinking.
person in Japan who doesn't know how to swim, because why would you want to swim on an island?
I mean, when would he get a chance?
Every time I see someone who
Swimming's a
doesn't know how to
luxury.
swim in a goddamn anime, it blows my fucking mind.
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, swimming is a luxury. Pool's a luxury. Beach is a luxury.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but like,
Yeah.
all right.
But yeah, he drowns. And also, like, drowning in a boat, sinking like that, it's not crazy.
No, this character I can understand not knowing how to swim,
Yeah.
because this person has been denied basic human rights.
Yes. And he ends up in, like, this afterlife in Rod Courts. Like, I'm a god. I'm like, he's like, it's traditional. I'm a god. This is the afterlife. You're dead. I'm gonna give you the option. You can either A, be reincarnated, and I'll give you a gift, my blessing, or you can choose to be reincarnated in the normal cycle of reincarnation and forget your memories and become going with a normal path. One person there's like 101 people in this area because Rycourt chose to bring the souls from this ship that all are blinking out of existence right here, exclude everyone who's evil. That he perceives evil. By the way, he barely understands humanity. But what he perceives as evil, get rid of them.
All right.
Just bring me the souls that deserve the blessings I'm going to give. And they show up there. One of them immediately goes, I don't want to be reincarnated. Put me in a normal cycle. I don't even want to remember this. I miss my loved ones. I don't want to have memories. I want to go on about life. He's reincarnated. He could be like a turtle. It's a piece of grass on a different planet. It doesn't matter. He's in the cycle reincarnation. He could be a fly. We don't know. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
The other 100 agree. He goes through everyone. He's handing out these gifts, these blessings, these cheat-like abilities.
Wait, hold on. Literally, like, there was 100 people. One was just like, nah.
He was like, nah, I'd rather die. Send me. Get me the fuck out of here.
Sounds like that guy made the right decision.
And that was the right decision.
That was the smart one.
That was the right decision. And they going through it. They going through it. They get through everyone. They see the girl. One of the girls, she gets sent. That he saved. He gave his life up to save. All this other shit. And give me 1 second. I'm gonna find this because this shit bothers me actually a lot. Because there's a line that Rodcourt tells to him that broke me. That made me go, this is BS. I can't wait for this dude to die. It hasn't happened yet, but I hope. But they go through everyone, and then they're getting towards the last, like, 2. And he goes, Amamiya Hiroto. And he goes to stand up. Like, Haruto. Like one letter difference. Sounds the same in Japanese. Sounds the same for everyone. But for us in English, it's the same damn name. Gets called up, and the guy gives him fucking everything. He's like, you get this, you get this, you get this. Bye. And then our main character goes, what about me? And then Rycourt goes, what is your name? I'm Amamiya Hiroto. And he looks at him, he's like, but I thought that was the last one. I guess you get nothing, fam. You don't even get luck, fam. You're going to experience a life worse than you've ever experienced. You're going to probably not live very long. You're going to have no talent. But because I have nothing to give you, you're going to have what we call an empty void. You'll have a lot of mana, more mana than anyone can conceptualize, but no way to use it. I hope you aren't offended, and I hope you try to live a good life without hating the other reincarnators and the people around them. Bye-bye. And the dude's like, but wait, and then he's born. And he's born into the child of a prostitute, like a crack whore prostitute, who he's born, and he's sitting there, and then she ends up marrying some random John who wants to take care of her. And they decide, let's get more drug money. Let's sell the stupid baby into slavery. So they did that. He goes through life as a slave, basically just doing basic work, living on the street, starving. And he's captured at like the tender age of like 6 or 7. Gets
turned into a gladiator, makes enough money to free himself, gets out, and then dies on a goddamn boat accident on the first day he gets
saving a girl.
As soon as he tries a boat for the first.
Is worse. He never gets to learn to read, never gets anything. They test this little slave kid and discover he has more mana than we know what to do with.
We should teach this kid some magic.
No.
Nope.
Let's experiment on him. They bring him to a government facility to experiment on. They're trying things. And by a scientist, by the way, this is like a world. He's on a world called Origin. Origin is very similar to our world. He's born in the equivalent of a third world country and sold into slavery. And then a major country, like equivalent to the United States, capture him and bring this kid and start researching on him.
Sounds bad.
The other reincarnators basically all form up like the goddamn Avengers or some shit. They doing like stopping terrorism and using their cheat-like abilities to help people. A couple of them are offended that they got captured because they were living great fucking lives. But the other enemy of Hiroto basically Captain America'd them, exposed them as being a reincarnator, and then brought them into the fold to start stopping terrorists and doing like interventions and shit. Meanwhile, while this shit is happening, this kid from the age of like 6 to when he dies is being experimented on. They're pulling out his body parts. They're doing cosmetic surgery. They're moving parts. They're making technology. Like they discover that, oh my God, there's another form of magic in here that doesn't exist called death magic that only he is capable of doing. It's crazy. His body was born with no ability to do none of the known types of magic. He can only do death magic. It's crazy. No one's ever seen it. And they can use this death magic to bring people back from the dead, to prevent aging, to create energy that never runs out because it generates energy from the void. They're making all of these great technological breakthroughs, military breakthroughs, weapons, all this shit off of his body.
All we need is the tears of this child.
So that's what
later they disconnected his brain from his body. So they're just keeping his body alive while he could think while they played with him. And one of the...
I don't know if that's kind or not.
No, because he's still conscious of it. So his
he still
soul,
feels it?
He can feel it still, and he detaches his soul from his body and discovers that through his death magic, he can see the spirits of all the people that are dying around him and all the random people. And he was hearing histories from dead people that have died in terrorist attacks and shit because all the souls are gathering in him because he has something called like a charisma of like people who are dead, soul spirits, people who want to die, people who are suicidal are attracted to his death magic. Like he's almost like he's a god, right? It's insane.
So like a negative god.
Yeah, pretty much. They're attracted to him. They want to help him because of the death magic, because he is the most of their affinity. So they feel it. Like if you're suicidal, he's like if someone had max charisma in D&D. You want to follow this motherfucker.
It's Dio from JoJo's.
Pretty much.
Evil people need a savior too.
All right, cool.
But like, they're doing this. All these things are going horrific things, and they have flashbacks to the horrific things he goes through. But because they're doing this, he's learning more and more and more about his magic and all of these other things and understanding. And he would love to escape because he has more than enough power to wreak havoc on this planet and escape. But they strapped bombs when they discovered how ridiculous his natural magic is. They cut off his brain. They restrained his body. They put bombs in his every orifice. Removed his ability to talk, all this other shit. And if he tried to do anything, they just blow him up, right? Because again, also, they don't want his body getting to their enemies for military advancement.
Right.
Yeah, you got it.
So as soon as they finish doing that, he raises his arm and they blow him up.
Pretty much. The scientists, they get some new scientists and they're hungry for advancement. They're like, you guys did all these lights that never turn off, these bombs. We're going to test some stuff. And they go overboard and they test and they free him. They free him by killing him. His body dies. It's cool, though. He's been waiting for that. And he reanimates his body as an undead.
Which is how he got his name, the Undead.
Yeah, and that's his only name because he never got to know his name because he's been a slave. He had no name or origin. He was a fucking crack baby that got sold into slavery, that got experimented on, and then he became the undead. And then he killed everyone there, and he also destroyed the souls of the people who he killed. This scared Rodcourt because no one should be able to destroy a soul.
Yeah.
No one should be able to stop the cycle of reincarnation.
Except
that fucks up the system, and that weakens him. Every single soul that dies is a piece of his power gone. Because that soul is gone forever, by the way. That's someone who's reincarnated an empty soul. That is a
classic Chinese. Their soul was eradicated from the cycle of reincarnation.
That's bad
one
for
more
everyone
miss in the
system.
bag of draws. But
he does that. Bombs are going off, and the military. This basically, I'm gonna call it the United States. This is more like Russia. Russia then calls the Avengers to come and stop him.
All right.
He goes down. He also frees the other people that have been being experimented on there. They were using his death magic to give them things that kind of work like his death magic or little facet of abilities and all this other stuff. He frees them all.
So one can talk to ghosts. One
can
eternally young.
see the future.
Okay.
One can transfer death from one to another. So if someone's dying, she can put her hands on you, pull their death out of them, and put it into someone else, sucking all of their life from them. That's just her one ability that she gained. She's not a reincarnator. She's just from this world. But his magic did that from the experiments to them. Yeah, they later become terrorists. Sorry, I had to cut that out. And they get revenge for him later on this world because one, they want to die to join their savior. Two, yeah, he got fucked over super bad because he breaks out, he gets revenge on all of the scientists that murdered him, that did that to him. He does all this stuff. He walks out, he sees the group he's been dreaming about for the past like 20 years, just in this living hell, hoping that they would come and save him. And he drops his one of the guys has the ability to make perfect predictions. And they're like, how do we deal with this quote unquote undead? Because the undead, it's evil. It's gonna do horrible things. They tell him, and the guy gets told by the power to approach it like a friend and then murder it. It will drop its guard, and then you won't have to worry about it. So they approach him, and he drops his guard. He has this death shield that repels everything. It's great. The dude is insane. Mm-hmm. He drops it, and he tries to talk to them. But keep in mind, his face is fucked up from all the surgery and things, so he doesn't look like a human being. Mm-hmm. And he can't talk because they cut off his vocal cords. Mm. So it's just like he can't communicate, but he's like crying, and it's me. And then they immediately vaporize his body into dust. There's nothing for his soul to attach to, and he ends up in Rodcourt, in Rodcourt's realm. And they're like, I wonder what happened. And he sees the girl that he saved at the time, and she's married to Amamiya Hiroto that got all of his things. Now, Amamiya also said it wasn't him. Like, that Amamiya isn't the worst because he let him know that I'm not the Amamiya that saved you. I don't know. Everyone just assumed the Amamiya Hiroto that saved her was the one that chose to die. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because they get all their memories back and all other stuff. But yeah, time goes by. He's in Rodcourt's realm. I'm not going to talk about Origin anymore. I'm going to talk about Lambda now. He's in Origin's realm. He's talking to him. Rodcourt's mad, chill, monotone, explaining what's going on, all this other stuff. And Amamiya Hiroto was like, give me another chance. Send me back. I'm going to kill all of them. They're all going to die. He's raging because he's lived a life of hell. Yeah. Rodcourt looks at him, explains, I can't have you do that. Also, when he says, I can't send you back, he's like, well, can you like make it so I don't remember anything? Send me somewhere else. He goes, I can't do that either. I forgot to mention this, but this isn't your next. This was a training session. Origin was a training session for Lambda. I need you to come to Lambda and then you develop this world. Y'all did a really great job developing Origin. They have some new technology. You brought a new magic affinity to the world. It's a good work. They have a lot more science. More people are going to be born now. More people are going to die. More souls for me. This is great. I need you to go to this new world. I need to develop it there. A little behind on technology, so bring your Earth and Origin technology there. The other stuff. This is what you're planning for. I can't give you any gift, but, have a good one. He's like, no, he takes a swing at Rodcourt. He just takes a swing in his spirit form at Rodcourt. We can't really fight as a spirit, okay?
I mean,
it's not a thing.
It's worth a shot.
He swung on a god.
Yeah.
He swung on a major god. He swung on him.
It's a soul fighting the guy who governs souls.
Yep. Yeah. And then the guy goes, no. He's like, okay, you send me into another world. And then this is where Hiroto makes his first and only mistake the entire time. This is the undead makes the first and only mistake that was outside his stuff. He lets him know, okay, send me. They're going to be alive on that world for another 30 to 70 years. I'm going to be ready for them. So when they're born, I'm killing all of them, Rodcourt. You'll never see them again. Rodcourt's like, I can't have you do that, bud. Curses the shit out of him. 3 curses. Can't gain experience because on this world, experience exists. On Origin, there's no such thing as experience. All of your powers and experiences from the other world don't translate here. You can't gain experience for anything you kill yourself. Can't do it. Can't acquire any class that has existed.
Okay.
He has to make his own class.
Pretty much, because Lambda is a world where classes and ESP exist, and there's a reason for that. There's actually a really good world reason that exists. The gods needed to create it because they were attacked by something called the Demon King back in the Gap, and it was super dope. It was a god. These were old gods from a different dying world that came to Lambda and started a great war. And they had to they had to ask Rod Court to import souls so they can give them champions, make them champions, and defend them and bring them stuff. There was creation-minded champions and battle-minded champions. Some shit went down. They beat the Demon King, but they lost 99% of the population. There's 2,000 people left. Vita, the goddess of love, was like, I don't know you guys. Y'all let my creation-minded champions die on purpose. Y'all did all this other shit. I'm making fuck Rod Court. I'm making my own psycho reincarnation. I'm making my own people. I don't need you. And she disappeared and made all of these different races and all the other shit. All the god of justice goes to war with the goddess of life after all the other gods are already dead from the war. He has his 2 champions still alive, and her champions are dead because they sacrificed them because they were greedy, leading to everyone dying. Because the creation-minded champions were allowed to do what they were allowed to do, everyone wouldn't have died. They would have saved everyone. So things have gone to shit. The gods and the Pantheon don't trust each other. There's civil war, all this other shit. Land is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But he's sent there. He's reincarnated. Mistakes happen, right? I would tell you, not mistakes. Rod Court is stupid. Vita's way smarter than him. Vita is chained by the swords of justice from Alda, can barely move, but she wakes up for the first time in like 50,000 years. And helps out a little soul that's falling down. It's a little bit of a spoiler, but she helps out this soul because she recognizes the soul.
So not only does he have the death magic, but now the goddess of life is sort of looking at him.
She can't do anything because she's chained. But there's a bit of he has the advantage, and Vandalu is not born in the Rod Court system. Rod Court can't watch him, can't influence him, can't do anything, can't even see him because he is born the child of a dark elf.
Okay.
A dark elf and a slave vampire, a thrall. His father was special, and that Venelu, by the way, is a combination of his mother and his father's name. She named it. He was like the vampire that was pretty much lesser vampire. He wasn't very strong, but he could walk in the sun, so he was important. He was a day walker for them. So he did a bunch of stuff, but he fell in love with Darcia. They had a child. He rebelled against the vampires. They murdered the dog shit out of his father. And she's hiding in a cave, and he was born in a cave alone. She was like a D-rank adventurer. She was doing all this other stuff, taking care of him. His mother is a great lady. He's born conscious. He has all of his memories. He does all this other stuff, but he can't access anything. But he sees what's going on. At first he's born and he's confused because he sees his mother has this beautiful dark skin. And then he looks down on himself and he realizes he is albino white. And he doesn't know why. He's like, is this even my mother? What's going on? It's great. Oh
God, what new sickness have I contracted on this world?
He's weird in that, like, his body is very numb when he's born. He's pretty decently strong for an infant, but he's still an infant. He can't really take care of himself. Darcia is great. This is the first time he has motherly love. Darcia treats him the way a mother treats a child.
Aww.
He's never had that. For the first time, he loves someone. Like, this is my mom. Those first few months of his life, this is my mom.
And then she's 3 weeks from retirement.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I could tell that was happening because it was a nice thing that was happening to this character.
Yeah, she begins getting ready to take them to
Disneyland.
The Dark Elf area, like
Disneyland.
in a
Essentially,
different
Dark Elf Disney World. Okay.
Pretty much away from the humans, because you got to realize in this world, basically where he was born, he's in the area where the people who follow Alda are very strong. He's not on the continent where he should be. This is not the continent where these people are treated like humans. These people, like dark elves, are treated dark elves, vampires, all the different monster races are treated as human. He's more in the area where only elves, humans, and dwarves are treated as human, as people. Everyone else kills them. They're not people. They're burned at stake.
They're not PC classes.
Pretty much.
No outsiders.
Vampire. I'm not going to spoil this actually because this is very important. It's an interesting cycle of events.
Well,
Just
I
the
feel like
world-
you've done a pretty good plot summary, honestly.
man,
up
this-
until-
You got us all the way to the third time. Like,
Yeah, this is the third time.
He
Yeah.
doesn't want a fourth.
he doesn't want a
Sure.
fourth.
I kind of
so, like,
get it. I kind of get why he wouldn't want a fourth, given his previous.
I mean,
His first
Rhycourt
three.
pretty much guaranteed once he dies because Rhycourt wanted him to commit suicide immediately when you're born. You're going to experience so much pain. You're either going to die immediately, die on birth, or kill yourself because you're so powerless. Rhycourt said this to him.
Yikes.
So the dude only had one goal. I'm definitely not going to kill myself.
I will survive.
I'll do everything but kill myself.
Pretty much.
I refuse to have a fourth time.
But yeah, things go down. There's fantastic characters.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Like every character I'm gonna name, you're gonna love. Like there's Van. He's that's my guy. Darsha's great, even when things happen. Zadiris is one of my favorite characters. She's a ghoul. She's an old ghoul that's on the end of her life. And then she meets Van, and Van uses his death magic to this thing that the scientists figured out, age reversing.
Mhm.
He can literally regress body parts by spirit forming his hands, going to the body and doing this massage that reverts. You use mana to revert your age.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Canceling out them free radicals.
He can do it. It's pretty great. There's Borkus, which is like a male ghoul. Male ghouls are weird in that they have long fucking arms. Later
Ew.
he gets 2 more arms. Great.
Ew.
And they have the face of lions. Male ghouls have the face of lions. But that's not Borkus, that's Vigaro. Vigaro's my guy. All right. Vigaro just don't give a fuck.
Face
He's
of
awesome.
Lions is where you had me.
Face
like,
of lions, long ass arms. He uses arms like whips with his axes. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. There's great characters. There's great story building. The story makes sense. You get to see multiple sides. You get to see what's going on in Origin.
Is it told from a third-person omniscient point of view?
When it's okay. The best way to phrase it is there's first person viewpoints,
Mhm.
but the first person viewpoint switches.
Okay.
Oh, so it's very Dungeon Defense.
First-person omniscient.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So when you're Van, you get to see what's going on with Van, but sometimes they're going to third person to what's going on with a different fight.
Okay.
But sometimes you get to see things from just one person's point of view. And it's pretty fucking great when it does that. You get to see though that having multiple lifetimes does terrible things to the different psyches by seeing the other reincarnators that are on Origin and what's going on with them. Some of them become completely ridiculous, I guess, degenerates.
Mhm.
One of them has a power called what is it? It's not Fafnir. I think it's something. He has the ability to negate something entirely. He can negate vision. If he negates vision, he himself can't see or can't touch. If he negates bullets, he can't be shot by bullets,
No one
but
else
he
can.
can't shoot you.
Oh no. So he creates a world without something, including his.
Yes, but he can also generate incredible amounts of heat too. So he can burn something to death as well. There's 2 powers. And they're really good. They use him as just like a tool, a weapon to deal with terrorists.
A world without flame retardants.
I want my power to oppose this wall. This lets me slide through this wall.
Ah, all right. Is it like a domain around him?
No, it's just like he himself.
Okay, just him specifically.
Him specifically.
Okay.
So you shoot through him. The only way to stop this is if he decides to declare something as not like his knife. My knife is the only thing here that I am not opposing, so I can kill you. But if his knife is unopposed, that means your knife is unopposed. So you can kill him.
No.
But you can only do this if you know how his power works.
Oh, so it's the normal dude from Medaka Box. He just makes an even playing field.
pretty much, except more broken because it's like he can do it as fast as he can think.
Oh shit.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah, the only limit being mana, but he has, because he's a cheat like dude, he has ridiculous mana pool, not as ridiculous as Vandaloo. Vandaloo has the mana pool of a god, and they're still humans. Example, a lot of mana is like 30,000. That's like more mana than a arc wizard knows what to do with. Guess how much Homeboy is bored with?
500,000.
2 million.
100 million.
100 million.
That's a lot.
He's in the
That's-
billions right now, and he uses all of it.
Good.
It's insane.
That's always fun.
But you said like his system wouldn't work. So like
It is interesting, and it shows how incompetent Rodcourt actually is.
I see. So he's just like, yeah, I have this
Just
thing.
abusing loopholes.
Yeah, Rodcourt is so stupid, and later, this is gonna skip. There becomes reincarnators that choose not to go to Lambda, and they're like, "How about this? We'll become your assistants. We have these abilities that can help you analyze things. We'll become your assistants." And the whole time they become assistants not to help you, Rodcourt, but to stop other companions from dying or walking into death. So they do that, and the whole time, Rodcourt's doing stuff, and he has people behind him roasting him, like roasting Rodcourt. It's great because Rodcourt is I guess the only way, like I don't want to offend someone who's on the spectrum, but Rodcourt reminds me, he's like not an idiot. He's not stupid. He's like not not smart. I guess like when it comes to what Rodcourt is good at and what Rodcourt can do, he's brilliant.
So you're saying
He's a savant.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense as I can understand the autism
Yeah.
illusion in that sense of like the complaint that I typically hear from autistic people that I've talked to and had the ability to interact with is that they don't understand societal situations. They don't understand the motivations for what people are doing. Which sounds similar to what you kind of described.
Rodcourt does not get humanity. He does not get wants, needs, feelings, emotions. He just doesn't get it. He just knows that he wants to benefit, and he will do what it's required. He's more worried about his system than you, and he's right, because the system is for trillions and trillions of living souls.
Yeah, it's honestly probably more important.
Rodcourt himself, like when you look at it and you look at the scale of the situation, a couple of worlds are actually nothing to Rodcourt. They may give him a headache and extra work to repair the system. A lot of souls, a lot of stillborns are going to happen because of that. But arguably, what he's trying to do isn't wrong. And that's one thing about this. Arguably, all of the characters, even the bad guys shown, are just trying to do what's right for them. They themselves aren't evil. Even evil isn't evil, because to people outside of Vandaloo in his circle, in his nation he builds, in Vita, and the Vita religion later, when he becomes like pretty much the Holy Son, he's evil to everyone else. He summons the undead. He'll eat human meat. It's just meat to him.
Well, yeah, he's a Dampier.
It's just meat to him.
Yeah. He doesn't
Like,
have human blood in his veins.
If you're a person, sure. He is one of the definition of a Chinese main character. He is merciless to his enemies because giving them mercy is being merciless to himself. He will literally murder everything and sow all the ground so you stop coming over here and leave us the fuck alone.
It's so crazy the backstory that a Japanese story has to give its protagonist to make them act like a normal person in a Chinese novel.
Yeah, because like a normal person in a Chinese novel, or at the very least the ones I read, like Martial World, ATG, Coiling, like they don't have this many bad things happen to them. They
have bad things, but they're so competent that it doesn't seem that bad in comparison.
Or like the bad things that happen to them ultimately give them the thing they need. Like it was actually good in disguise, like at all points in time.
But
this just seems like he's been beaten up all his life.
Yes, and when he finally starts taking revenge, he still occasionally gets beaten up, but like it's not one of those he's just unstoppable. But he's one, has ingenuity. Two, it's about allies, because he himself can't gain experience for anything he himself kills.
So he gets other
or
people
do
to kill.
things. He needs people to do it for
He
him.
has to party up.
He has to party. He has to have followers. He builds an undead army because he has to. But he treats them like people. Because the dead are all like his first birthday is the most depressing thing of my life. Which his first birthday is so depressing, it's so sad that you're like, oh no. But when he has his second and third birthdays, it's like, this is so much better. When he has his 8th birthday, his positioning is so much better. And you can see as time passes by, he is with his bare hands clawing his way to a better life. And it's fantastic. What he
American
gets,
dream.
What he gets
Japanese
with his
dream.
following.
No, the Japanese dream. Sure, the Japanese
Japan American dream.
Japanese dream is succeed the second you're out of high school with 40 years of hard bone chilling work.
That is success. You're right.
Vendaloo would have made an incredible salary man because that man works hard at all times.
Yeah.
It's great. I just read the novel. I've barely touched.
Where do we read
like
the novel?
the first volume? Where can you read the novel?
Light novel Bastion?
Yeah, light novel Bastion.
Oh,
Alright.
Light Novel Bastion. That's where I was reading another book. Good. What am I reading on Light Novel Bastion? It's the one. It's the one.
Else is
It's
No,
the only one. It's the God of Kingdom Come give you the prize.
What?
Don't worry about it.
I'm not.
The tutorial's too hard.
That's right. It's the tutorial is too hard.
Yep,
That's on Light Novel
and
Bastion.
it is updated as frequently as that. It's
Come on.
heartbreaking. There's one
Yeah.
A good old Against the Gods syndrome.
thing. You got
Not
7
Against the Gods,
volumes.
Tales of Against the Gods. I always get those two fucking names swapped.
Me too.
Meh.
I don't know.
It's all those gods parts. Too many gods.
There's a lot of gods. But basically,
But yeah, no, that was one of the major complaints I had heard you say is that this updates on like the monthly schedule of short chapters once a month when the author feels like it, right?
pretty much. Like I had the advantage in that I didn't know it had this horrible schedule. I got this awesome EPUB. It had 7 volumes in it, and I sat there, and I took a week of just continuous reading, and I'm like, okay, cool. I can go and see where they're at because EPUB has made a long, long time ago. See where it's at. Read. There's no next button.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What? No.
Oh, no.
Novel update says the update is every 4.4 days.
I wish that's probably like a big.
That's
dump they
an
had.
average over the whole thing. The beginning was released very quickly. It's just
Okay, to put that in perspective, there was an update. I waited 15 days. There was an update. I waited 19 days. There was an update.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that number's going up then, pretty good. But yeah, let's. I feel like we're probably getting around. We didn't have time to talk about that, so we got a couple things to take care of. If you've got something you'd like us to read or would like to reach out to us, we can be reached at.
That'd be tigerrollercoaster@gmail.com, or I'm sorry, tiger.rollercoaster, doesn't matter. Gmail doesn't care. Or you could do at tigercoaster on Twitter. Also, we have. I was trying to find the review for us to talk about for this episode, and I instead found a post on Reddit that says, "What happened to the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast?" Oh no, you guys!
Yeah, no. What has happened to us?
What happened to us? It's all right. We're fine.
What
We back
happened
at
to
it.
us?
We're here.
fine.
We're here right
just
now.
Being lazy content creators, and we apologize.
We're back at it.
Back in the saddle again.
We
But
don't
it
make
does-
anything.
It does say at the bottom, really enjoyed the podcast a ton. Hope it returns. So like,
We really enjoy you listening to us, guys, and we do apologize.
My heart.
Sometimes I listen to you listening to us.
It's entirely my fault.
we're gonna this is gonna be up soon enough. We have another one that's in front of this too. They're
Yeah,
gonna see
I think-
another one before, or they're gonna hear another one before they hear this one. It's gonna be very funny.
Yeah, well, whatever. We'll have a Reddit post out whenever we get this one out. I think I actually missed the Reddit post on the last one. Now that I think about it,
You'll know. We will.
but
We'll.
you'll
timelines.
have reached out before you hear this episode, probably.
We'll fix the timelines when we get to it.
Yeah, we'll
correct it.
inform you.
We're
on
back.
on our 4th time, we'll fix the time. Wait,
No,
No, we don't want a
this is the
fourth.
3rd time. No 4th time.
What are you talking
Solidly
about?
the 3rd time.
If my life follows the karma I have in this life, I do want a 4th time. It's going to be a lot of blessings and fun, easy times.
Oh my god. Maybe that's why I like this character so much. His luck is as bad as mine. It's great.
All right.
I think that pulls us over to the you didn't even get to talk about section.
Well, I was
yeah.
going to say next week we're probably going to talk. Well, whatever. We'll do it after. So we didn't even get to talk about Richard.
We didn't even get to talk about Van and Legion.
Legion like the demon.
No, that's the name of a character.
Yeah.
There was a character. It was a bunch of girls and one dude reborn in this world with help from a god, the god of space.
It's not how this works, Richard.
Okay.
We didn't talk about Van and Legion. Cool.
Okay.
We didn't even get to talk about.
We didn't even get to talk about Zadyrus becoming a magical girl.
We didn't even get to talk about.
Ooh.
We didn't get to talk about Van fixing the infertility of an entire race of people.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And we didn't even get to talk about.
We didn't even get to talk about him reigniting the Sun City and becoming the Grand Eclipse King.
Ooh, the Grand
Eclipse King. I want that title.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
a fun title. That's a
I-
Chinese fan character title.
That's a title to like end it on.
That is a fine place to end. I guess
Okay.
we will see you guys next week or next time. Let's just say
Yeah.
next time.
Next
I
time
think that's
sounds
safer.
better. Yeah, we'll either be talking about Wudong Kyung-kun, everyone else is a returnee, or Overgeared. One of those.
Yeah,
Back at
it's
it.
Or
it's,
stellar transformations.
it's all
Ooh.
random, but it'll have been decided by the time you hear this, so it won't be random anymore.
We
Bye.
we got a cool dice to roll this on, boys.
We etched the names. In.
All right, have a great time, guys.
It's
Thanks
the
for listening.
unusable D3. Who knows?
Peace.
Bye.
Tiger Rollercoaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.